go.
Go, Kyle Bossman.
Yeah.
Go, Kyle Bossman. Hey, everybody. Pick one to kick off our second Hall of the Greats induction ceremony.
Hall
Take
of
it
Greats.
away.
Hall of Greats.
Hall of Greats.
Hall of Greats. Let me tell you, everybody.
Oh, not the?
Hog. It's the Hall of Greats induction.
Yeah.
This is called Hall of the Greats right now, so I gotta change it.
Change it up.
Kyle Boss!
Look at the big graphic on the bottom of the screen. Everybody see
Come on.
it? Our patrons have decided a new rule.
Uh-oh.
Video is permitted, and visual aids are permitted.
Yo, I just want to bring up something that I didn't know about this part until, like, last night.
Huber didn't.
So...
It was before last night.
Like,
It's like the day before.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like 2 days
It
ago.
was 2 nights ago.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's one. Today we were doing D&D.
Okay.
When was I supposed to create some Venn diagram,
When?
Kyle?
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please look forward to the new episode of Tabletop Estimates.
Yes.
You have 6 points to distribute, but in that very particular way.
Can I hold up a 0 as a symbolic thing?
Yes. You absolutely can. That would be very rude. It is banned for a year.
Wow.
It
Does that
means
start now or
starting
last time?
starting now.
Okay.
starting
so
now.
Resident Evil's safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is banned for 12 months.
Dark Souls is safe. Okay.
Yeah.
The very first ally to present their game will be
Please not.
me.
Mr. Michael.
I knew it.
Please not
I
me.
knew that was
Michael Huber.
Damiani, I ask that you set the tone
Sure.
for this coming
The
game.
tone will be set now.
Do you want me? Am I to be in timer?
Ooh, so you have audio visual?
Oh!
And in the zone. Oh yeah, soak up that adventure. I still think the soundtrack is so strong that it doesn't need to change. And that's kind of where I want to end, is that Dragon Quest VIII is so strong, rarely does it change radically, but it doesn't need to. You know, what is there is refined. To me, it is perfection, and that's Dragon Quest VIII.
I have an actual honest question.
Okay.
Timer Jones. How many hours does it take for this one to get good?
I think the very first story arc is impactful. You are going to town to find...
How many hours was
like
the question?
a couple. You find no, there are definitely moments. You'll go to a town and the guy will be like beating his slave. Yeah, there's very intense moments.
Okay.
Very intense moments. Next is who is
I
it?
think it's Bloodworth or Ian.
Dawn.
What's his shirt?
It's a
I'm just trying to put
Whoa!
Wow,
Oh,
Bloodworth.
yeah.
Blood, Huber can take that seat.
No, I'm good.
That's not how we play these games. I've never seen that before.
Good evening, everybody.
Seat.
He takes
Yeah, try to sit there now.
Sophie, Blood is sitting there. Sophie, you gotta move, Sophie.
Sorry,
Blood is sitting there.
Sophie.
Many people wondered if I would continue on the pirate theme after my precious black flag. I will not continue on the pirate theme. However, I will continue on the theme of number 4.
Ooh.
And in this case, it will be Damiani. Load it up. SimCity 4.
Oh!
Yes! It holds up even today. In fact, after looking over and pulling some screenshots today, I'm pretty sure I'll be going back and adding to my region within the next week when I have a few free moments. This is really basic. We'll keep moving to the next one. These are the kind of details, though, that we can get into that make it so enjoyable, is that...
30 seconds now.
Oh my god, we're in trouble. Okay, we gotta move fast. We gotta move really fast. We got a lot to cover. Alright, so look at this. Graphs. What it's all about, bring that back up, please. It's all about cross-referencing information.
We're crunching on this graph here. it
Okay, so
is.
here we go again. Now look at this. Look what's happening here. Now this is all about cross-referencing, okay? It's all about getting maximum amount of information you need to make changes to improve. Go ahead, roll forward to the next one.
We gotta roll into questions. Do we want to take
hold
time
on.
away from questions, maybe?
Yeah, let's forget the question.
That's the rules.
Oh man, okay.
You're out of time.
John, wait. My first question is,
What's the next
what was the next graph you were going to show?
Well, thanks for asking that. You never get to the point where you're like, I don't know, there's a bunch of dead bodies in my city. I have cemeteries everywhere. Why are there still dead bodies building? It's like you can figure out exactly what the issue is.
Does that happen?
That was an issue with City Skylines I had,
okay.
actually.
I see.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do
This is it. Your
when
final
I
point
had a
time.
city is launch a meteor into maybe just like the suburbs, some harmless little area, or do something with taxes where maybe some riots would begin, and then you let it run and you go outside and you go to your neighbor's house and you guys, whatever, you go ride BMXs together, you go throw football around for a few hours, whatever, and then you try to bring your city back from whatever state it's in. City 4. I missed a lot of things. Rush hour. Can I just make one more point?
no.
Okay. All right.
The game I'm about to talk about is so epic, I gotta talk about another game first. So, because that expansion pack sets up a character called Arthas. And next year, the World of Warcraft is gonna have an expansion where we, as our guild, are going to hunt that character down. So here is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, massively multiplayer online role-playing game ever created, the World of Warcraft. That I had to play an entirely different game to understand the context of doing just one mission, just one part of this game that has been around for more than a decade. The world has only gotten bigger, the game has only gotten better, and millions and millions of millions of people have played it.
Done.
World of Warcraft.
Jones.
Yes.
It's very easy to romanticize these legendary moments in World of Warcraft, but what do you say to the countless hours of grinding, killing spores, hoping for a drop of some useless cloth to turn into a lifeless NPC whose mouth does not move when he gives VO, mind you. What do you have to say about all those moments?
The mouth's
Fire
definitely
department's
moved in World of
coming from that
Warcraft.
Burn.
But if you want to really take the selfish approach and just be like, I'm only in it for my gear, I'm only in it for my direct satisfaction.
No, I'm talking about leveling up, Jones. I'm talking about the journey to leveling up to even be able to experience these raids
Right.
that need a large, coordinated group of players to even experience to begin with.
Is saying that that's saying that Fellowship is bad unless you read all of the other books and cannot take that on its own.
But
all the
you and
expansions
your
are single
hang
experiences.
on, Jones. In your own argument,
Or acquire loot.
in World of Warcraft, you said that you had to play another game just to understand the context of this game.
Correct.
Wouldn't a good game have story that can support itself? Pause.
It's like, well, if you like Paris, why aren't you there right now? If Paris is so great, why
I mean,
didn't you
that's
ever leave
logistically
Paris?
hard to get up
Why
and
do you-
move, but to like play a video game on your computer
Why
is a
is
lot
it-
easier than moving
That
your whole
argument is very
family
strange.
across the
Why
country.
why isn't
That's the
human?
word.
It wasn't my job to defend that game either. That's why I didn't bring up the stuff.
Yeah.
There were really easy rebuttals to your
Johnny,
games.
14 will never get into the Hall of Neither will World of Warcraft, so it's okay.
Remember what Kyle just said before I called the camera here?
What shirt I'm wearing? Don's the fool, by the way. Is that bad?
No, I
Oh,
was
okay.
a fool because I didn't make the two best points about
No,
this.
Don! No, you don't!
And here, let me move it.
Mr. Kyle Boss.
Already there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. it's
Kyle
not
Blossman. I will sit down and listen.
Oh, not with you next to me. Now, the game I'm nominating tonight is The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Oh, what?
DX.
Ooh,
DX.
The Game Boy Color book?
DX. There's no DLC. There's no motion controls. There's no memes. Link's Awakening DX. Still beautiful. Still fun. still interesting, and thereby one of the greats.
Beautiful sprites.
Yes.
What game is this heavily derived from?
This game is heavily derived from The Legend of Zelda 3.
3? Yeah. Well, what would you? What would be another name for that game, Kyle?
Link to the Past.
But Link's Awakening has one of the worst Zelda bosses ever.
Oh.
You literally fight a fish and you just spam the attack button and it dies. And there's nothing
The Angler's
to it.
Cave boss.
There is no strategy. There is no difficulty.
But you had
just
the choice to fight
But
that boss.
I would argue that dungeon's pretty annoying.
That's still waypoints. Sorry, the types where they tell you where to go next.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like you might find in A Link to the Past.
That is it's done.
Then comes along the Sony PlayStation 32 bits of power, starting to get into 3D and everything like that. Kind of janky, but it's trying. Then comes big boy Nintendo saying, we can do everything better. We can handle 3D. We can make the 3D game that everyone will base their game off next. And that game is Super Mario 64. Oof. Different areas to go to. Door here, door there. You could pick whatever door you want. This is Mario 64. Get in that first world, man. And you hear that music. You're home. You're home. Oh my god, the level design in this game is unreal. This game holds up in... anyways, which I highly recommend. It's the way to play that game. Oh my god. Dude, when I just think about this game, can you, like... And when you beat it all, you get to see Yoshi. And he gives you 100 1-ups, and he's like, hey man, just go have some fun.
We need a timeout. We need a timeout.
Okay.
I had one job, and I effed it up.
Uh-oh.
I allowed 2 people to bring Mario 64.
Uh-oh.
Should we let that second person speak right now and then have a 2-part cross-examination?
Who's that?
It's Michael Damiani.
Yeah, my boy!
The controls in that game, to me, are fantastic. I think every Mario game that's come after has inferior controls.
No.
I think the platforming is much better in Super Mario 64.
Yeah, slightly changes
first-
each time. It's the same boss fight 3 times.
And it works every time.
The second time, the platform, she jumps and shifts the platform. And you start sliding. It's like, wait, what? And you start sliding towards lava. And then he breaks the platform so it's like a star shape. Mm-hmm. And he does like shockwave things when he jumps. Yeah. He does like a shoulder tackle charge at you. he does this like super fireball.
I truly do not believe that Super Mario 64 controls better than Super Mario Galaxy, nor do I think the level design is strong. Sure, it has maybe, maybe it has more character, but in terms of like mechanical platforming from point A to point B, a platforming adventure going through a stage, Mario Galaxy is superior. Prove to me here and now that the platforming in 64 is stronger than Galaxy 1 or Galaxy 2.
Oh, because they can do all those tricks and stuff that are still possible in 64 that aren't possible in the future one because they had like their physics. Oh, we're gonna be a little bit more realistic with the physics. So you can only do X amount of wall jumps over stuff before it like caps you. Like they did this with Zelda too. They started imposing stamina, all this bullshit that like this. It's like, I don't want that. I want to have fun. Mario 64 was so much fun because they didn't impose these stupid restrictions on me.
Here we go. Start him now. Huber hates 64. Here we go. let's just make that canon. Get out of your system. Yeah. Hey, before this started, Kyle told me to rip into games for the spirit of the Hall of Greats.
Again, understand they're great games.
But outside of this, though, Huber talks a huge amount of trash on Mario 64, like always.
You're lucky you didn't bring up the best point about it.
So I'm going to need to ask you a favor. I'm going to need you to cut off my talking at 4 minutes.
At 4?
Okay, so that I can do my visual aids.
Oh my goodness.
Special request.
Last time, my pick, Super Metroid, had to go up against Street Fighter 2. And Street Fighter 2 is absolutely one of the greats. This is a game that
Whoa!
It shifted the landscape. It shifted the landscape of the arcades. It shifted the landscape of like how you played with friends. You know, go to a flea market. There's Street Fighter 2 there next to, you know, a bunch of like old lamps and clocks. You know, and I don't know where I'm at, but visual aids time.
Oh boy. Oh my.
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Wow.
Sonic boom! Yeah. And then Blanca, I don't know, but Tiger me!
Okay, so you brought up the Genesis version of that game. What's good about that version? When there's not enough buttons on it, so you have to push start to change between punch and kick. It ruins the entire flow.
It does? Okay.
Yes. I had it.
But
version,
is
but-
it the best fighting game? Is this the greatest fighting game?
Yes. Vega, man, that claw and that mask, like that's a character.
What do you know? All right. Before we start, Tom, I do have to say something. I said publicly several times that it was going to be Xenoblade Chronicles, and I do intend to fight for Xenoblade Chronicles at some point.
The mystery.
But here's why I'm not doing Xenoblade Chronicles today.
Okay.
It's because I haven't finished it, and I want every bullet in the chamber
Got it.
when I choose to fire that gun.
Got it.
I realize that I have an uphill battle with this game because I feel like not a lot of the allies have played it, not a lot of people have played it, but to me it is a game that still rolls around in my head, and that is a strategy game. And it is a strategy game that made me think about things that I didn't expect a game with an anime aesthetic or choosing units and leveling them up to make me think about, and that is Valkyria Chronicles. Every single mission, there's something intense going on. It pushes you in a different direction than you expect to be pushed. And the last thing that I want to talk about, I haven't used my fucking visual aids at all. Sorry. I got too wrapped up. Sorry. That F-bomb was inappropriate.
It was a beautiful piece. Did we get him in? Did we get
It's
the
passion.
When I pull that trigger and my character turns towards the camera, does the "Yay! I just killed somebody" animation every time.
And you get a big ol' A. Here's your S grade for murder today.
I mean, no.
Ben, how are you so good at speaking?
I like this
You
game
don't
a
have to
lot.
spend time
How are you so good at speaking? It spends 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All part of the plan.
Ben, these levels.
I can't see anything on this side of myself because of my ridiculous haircut.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
How can you judge games with that ridiculous haircut?
Oh, I
Blocking
don't
your
know.
view.
I think you're qualified.
It ruins my opinions too. All right. You probably saw this one coming. Symphony of the Night, baby. Symphony of the Night. Point number one. I made this little thing and I folded it up.
Oh.
Nice.
Point number one, sprite art. Point number two, the music. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, ba-ding. My next point is the sprite art. Come on, the sprite art is so good. And then the ultimate point, ultimate point, Inverted Castle, baby. This game is twice the game you think it is. Like, they didn't just flip the castle upside down and say it's weird and cool now. I mean, it is weird and cool now, but yeah, I mean
What do you think about that?
Well, the famous line, like, "What is a man? A miserable pile of secrets," is actually a quote from some French. I don't know what it is, but it's like a quote from some French like literature thing, which I didn't know at first. It's interesting, just interesting.
But don't you feel that there are parts of the castle that feel sort of cobbled together, that they don't really connect in logical ways at points?
I mean, that's kind of part of the mythos of the Castlevania itself. But I mean, like, kind of to address what you were saying.
Seems convenient.
I mean,
Oh,
it's in the story.
Well, if we had one more.
This will take longer than 10.
If we hadn't doubled down on 64, we would have been doing Damiani's now.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry about that.
It's all
Sorry,
good.
Kyle. Kyle, next time you yell at me for making a mistake.
8.
Just don't.
Because
And we'll call it
Brad
even.
and Damiani
just
have
don't.
to-
Right. Just don't. Just don't.
And we got Vicious, which was good this time. Though I think I think it was sincere hatred when it came to Mario 64.
No. Okay.
Hot damn.
Don't
Raw.
forget Symphony of the Night's down there, boys. Don't
Don't
spend
sleep
all
on
your
it.
points early. Don't spend all your threes right up front. That's all I'm saying.
One more time. One more time.
One more time.
Oh, come on.
Dragon Quest 8.
Journey of the Cursed King.
Okay, let's go.
Full title.
I'll try. Yeah, I didn't put all the full titles here, but I'll try to read. SimCity 4
Deluxe edition.
Deluxe Edition.
Keep them up until Damiani says good.
Okay.
I need 10 more seconds. I need 10 more
real
seconds.
quick.
Yeah, I need 30.
I need 30.
I have one
Keep
30.
guys
I need 30
going.
seconds.
Come on.
Really hard right now.
Come on.
Dragon Quest 8. Sim City 4.
Alright,
World
you better have a
of
good memory.
Warcraft. Super Mario 64. Real quick before I go on the next one, put up World of Warcraft again. Who voted for World of Warcraft? Okay, thank you. Next up, Link's Awakening DX. Street Fighter 2. Okay. Sorry, someone was turned in a way I couldn't tell if they had 1 or 2 up.
Damn it.
Did that one get any votes, Damiani?
Everybody, make your numbers face Damiani.
Sorry, it's a little. Okay. Valkyria Chronicles. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Or 8th, I guess.
So there is a tie for dead last with Valkyria Chronicles and SimCity 4 getting 1 vote. Chat is saying that this other game only had 1 vote, which is what I thought, but World of Warcraft also only had 1 vote. Wow. I thought it had 2.
Okay.
It only got 1.
Where'd that point come from?
I thought Brad put up a finger as I was.
I did it, then you didn't count it at first, so then I...
You changed your vote?
He didn't count it at first.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because he moved on as I was putting it up.
Oh.
But then he redid it. He redid it. He fixed it. Don't even get mad at me, mister, putting game on that list twice.
Kyle's gonna put the system on trial.
He double checked it.
Yeah, then if Jones voted for it, Jones presented it.
Oh, it's banned, thank God.
I gotta try this.
Everybody,
banned.
So wait a minute, Kyle.
No, it
WoW
doesn't.
WoW is banned. For
WoW was
a year.
banned for a year and SimCity's banned for a year?
Wait, you voted for it yourself? Valkyria is not banned though, because I voted.
Not banned. Not banned.
Can I just say this is officially the most stressed I've ever been in a live stream? I can't feel the tips of my fingers.
I almost was gonna say I was sick. And not, I was this close.
Then next
Feels like a victory.
So next we have a 2-way tie. Dragon Quest VIII and Link's Awakening DX received 5 votes.
You bastards!
I voted.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Come on, man.
That's a huge jump. That's a huge jump.
I gave it 2 points, man. I gave it 2 points.
I panicked.
Jesus.
I thought it was banned.
It's my favorite PS2 game. Here am I gonna leave you hanging?
We give you our votes and we get nothing.
All right. So that
Okay.
coming in 3rd place with 12 votes. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
So Mario 64 is in, and what's the other one?
Street Fighter 2.
Boring.
Yeah.
With how
Blood
many
picked it
votes?
up.
How'd they do?
Blood with the alley-oop.
2nd place with 14 votes.
Ooh, close.
Street Fighter 2.
Nice.
And 1st place with 15 votes.
Whoa.
Super
Close.
Mario 64.
It earned it. It earned it.
Gave 1 to Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
Those
Didn't
are
need
my
it.
votes.
Valkyria Chronicles is the best strategy.
It's alive.
Sonic boom!